Hey there, CineMaster fans! Hope you're ready for some movie magic. Let's dive right in. The movie elevator game starts with a girl named Bicky getting into an elevator and recording a video for her boyfriend, telling him she's going to play the elevator game just like he asked. The game is about a person entering an elevator and going up 10 floors 3 times. On the last time, she stops at the 5th floor, closes her eyes, and isn't allowed to open them until the elevator door closes. Then, she presses the button for the 1st floor, and the elevator moves by itself to the 10th floor, where she finds herself in a world called the Red Spirit World. After going up to the 10th floor 3 times, she presses the button for the 5th floor, closes her eyes, and as soon as the door opens, she feels a strange wind and opens her eyes before the door closes, which means she broke the rules of the game. She ignores it and presses the button for the 1st floor, but then the lights start flickering and the elevator moves by itself to the 10th floor. Bicky drops her phone, and when she tries to pick it up, she feels her hand touch the leg of some strange creature. She looks behind her but finds it gone. When she checks her phone camera, she sees a terrifying girl standing behind her. Then the elevator reaches the 10th floor, and she sees the Red Spirit World. The scary girl starts talking to her, and Bicky screams until she suddenly disappears from the elevator. The elevator goes down to the 1st floor, empty. Next, we switch to a group of young people who have a YouTube channel where they do scary experiments every day. The host, Chris, is talking to his audience, introducing his friends who work on the channel. He says that soon they'll be doing scarier experiments than before, and will take their show to haunted places with ghosts and spirits. After the show ends, Kevin, the channel manager, gathers them and says they didn't make a good ad for the sponsor funding their channel, so they might lose a lot of money. He introduces a guy named Ryan, who's been following their channel for a long time and volunteered to work with them. Ryan asks if they have any ideas for scary experiments for the next episode. Their friend Matt says he read online about a haunted hotel in Japan, and maybe they could travel to Japan to film. Kevin cuts him off, saying they don't have money to travel. So Ryan suggests they play the elevator game. Cleo says she read about the game and that a terrifying female ghost appears on the 5th floor. They all dismiss the game, saying it's not suitable for their show because they need to film in a haunted place to get high views. Ryan tells them he knows a haunted building in the city center, and a girl named Bicky played the elevator game there and disappeared completely. The police searched everywhere and found no trace of her, considering her a runaway. Before Ryan finishes talking, Kevin gets an important call. Cleo hangs out with Ryan, gives him a tour of their studio, and gives him her phone number. Then they go back to the meeting, and Kevin tells them they have to film an episode today because the sponsor is upset they didn't make a good ad for his product and threatened to pull funding and cancel their contract if they don't make a new video with a proper ad. So they're forced to play the elevator game since there's no time to think of other scary experiments. They all agree and head to the building Ryan mentioned. They enter the building and set up cameras in the elevator to film everything that happens during the game. Ryan chats with Cleo, asking if she gathered info about the elevator game. She says she knows all the rules but researched more and found out that the terrifying female ghost on the 5th floor lives in a world called the Red Spirit World and is so evil that she kills anyone who breaks the rules. So if anyone opens their eyes on the 5th floor before the elevator door closes, they'll die. Cleo says she doesn't really believe this, but she likes researching weird stuff as a kind of adventure. After a bit, they start filming the show. Chris tells his viewers he's going to play a legendary game that's trending all over social media called the Cursed Elevator Game. Through his experience, he'll find out if the Red Spirit World really exists or not. Matt interrupts, telling viewers the rules. They have to go up all the elevator floors 3 times, then, on the last time, stop at the 5th floor, close their eyes, and not speak at all, because that's when the terrifying female ghost will appear behind them, and anyone who opens their eyes will die instantly. Once they're sure the elevator door is closed, they open their eyes and press the button for the 1st floor. Then the elevator will go out of control and take them to the 10th floor, transporting them to the Red Spirit World. When he finishes explaining, he, Cleo, and Chris get in the elevator and start the game. As they go up, Cleo notices Chris seems upset and asks what's wrong, but Chris ignores her and changes the subject. Meanwhile, Easy is watching them through the camera she set up in the elevator, but suddenly the cameras keep cutting out, and she doesn't understand what's happening. Then the power goes out, and Matt gets worried, scared that the story about the terrifying female ghost might be real. He almost leaves the elevator, but Cleo stops him, telling him that would break the rules, and the terrifying female ghost would kill them all if they don't finish the game. He listens to her, and they go up all the elevator floors 3 times. Before going down to the 5th floor, Chris decides not to close his eyes because he doesn't believe in the terrifying female ghost. Matt gets angry, saying it might be real, and could get them killed if Chris doesn't close his eyes. Chris promises he'll close them, and they press the button for the 5th floor. Meanwhile, Ryan sees a security guard at the building entrance, so he, Kevin, and Easy hide. In the elevator, Chris and his friends reach the 5th floor, close their eyes, and don't speak at all. Chris opens his eyes for a second, then closes them again. When the elevator door closes, they open their eyes, and Cleo tells them they're at the final stage of the game. They need to press the button for the first floor. If the game is real, the elevator will go out of control and take them to the 10th floor. They press the button and the elevator starts going up. At the same time, Ryan confirms the security guard left, grabs his tablet, and realizes the camera cut out. Matt is now really scared and wants to leave the elevator, but Cleo and Chris stop him. Suddenly, the elevator stops at the 9th floor, and someone else gets in with them. The elevator takes them down to the ground floor and they all get out. Easy tells them that the camera died when they were on the 5th floor, so the whole video wasn't recorded. While they're talking, Cleo hears the voice of a woman coming from the elevator, and everyone is freaking out because their episode is ruined. Then Ryan suggests they play the game again, but Chris and Matt refuse. Ryan gets angry and says Chris doesn't want to play because he feels guilty about what happened to Vicky, since he was her boyfriend and the one who told her to play the elevator game, and he even promised her that if she filmed a video playing the game, he'd upload it to YouTube and make her famous. So basically, he feels responsible for her disappearance. Everyone is shocked and asks how Ryan knows all this, so he tells them Vicky is his little sister, and he didn't tell them the truth because he wanted them to play the game. Maybe he could find his sister in the red spirit world. Chris snaps back at him, saying that world doesn't even exist, and that his sister is a loser just like him and probably just ran away. Ryan gets furious and tries to hit him, but the security guard comes and kicks him out of the building. After that, Ryan talks to Cleo alone and apologizes for not telling her the truth, then asks her to help him find his sister. She agrees, but tells him the elevator game isn't real and she's sure nothing happened to his sister in the elevator. She leaves, and night falls. Chris calls Cleo, saying he regrets what happened with Vicky and wants to make up for it, but before he can finish, the call drops. He goes back to his apartment building, but suddenly the power goes out, and he sees the terrifying female ghost from the elevator. She uses her powers to choke him from a distance until he dies. At the same time, Ryan is looking at a picture of his sister Vicky on his phone, feeling sad, and decides to play the elevator game to go to the red spirit world and save her. He gets in the elevator and starts the game. Meanwhile, Easy and Kevin return to their studio. Easy remembers her camera is still in the elevator and asks Kevin to come with her to the building to get it. Kevin agrees, but says they have to be quick because he has important work. In the elevator, Ryan reaches the 5th floor, closes his eyes in fear of the terrifying female ghost, and when the elevator doors close, he opens his eyes and presses the button for the 1st floor. But the elevator goes out of control and takes him up to the 10th floor. When the doors open, he's shocked when he finds himself in the red spirit world. He starts looking for his sister Vicky, confused and not believing what he's seeing. By chance, he sees a woman standing far away staring at him. He thinks it's his sister and approaches her, but he's shocked again, and she starts running away, so Ryan chases after her, terrified. At the same time, Kevin and Easy arrive at the building, grab the camera from the elevator, but Easy presses the button for the 1st floor and decides to play the elevator game again. Meanwhile, Ryan heads back to the elevator to try to leave the red spirit world, but it's locked, and going up to the 4th floor. He keeps playing the elevator game, and the terrifying female ghost is after him. In the elevator, Easy turns on her camera and presses the button for the 5th floor to film the missing part of their episode. When they reach the 5th floor, they break the rules of the game and don't close their eyes, thinking the game isn't real. But suddenly, the terrifying female ghost appears and kills them both for breaking the rules. When the elevator reaches the red spirit world, Ryan enters and presses the button for the 1st floor to return to the real world and escape the ghost, but the elevator won't move. Suddenly, the ghost appears and runs toward him, but luckily the elevator doors close at the last second. He finds Easy's camera on the floor, watches a video of her and Kevin screaming and dying, and sees that the terrifying female ghost doesn't appear on the footage. Ryan breaks down, feeling guilty since he was the one who told them about the game in the first place. When the elevator reaches the 1st floor, Ryan finally finds himself back in the real world. He runs out of the building and calls Cleo to tell her what happened. At that moment, Cleo can't hear her phone because she's wearing headphones, listening to music, and searching online for more information about the terrifying female ghost. Suddenly, a red light appears behind her door, and a dark shadow moves as if it's about to enter the room. When Cleo looks at her phone, the shadow disappears. She answers Ryan's call and asks what he wants. Ryan tells her the elevator game is real and that she and her friends are in danger, asking her to meet him at the studio right away. Cleo agrees and calls her friends to check on them, but no one answers. She doesn't know they're all dead except for Matt, who's sitting on the street waiting for the bus. Suddenly, he hears a strange sound and sees the ghost above him, so he runs away as fast as he can. At the same time, Cleo arrives at the studio. Matt calls her and says he'll meet her there to tell her what he saw. Afterwards, he goes to a restaurant and grabs a bunch of salt, thinking the salt will keep the terrifying female ghost away. He sees her standing behind him in the mirror and runs out of the restaurant in a panic. Meanwhile, Ryan meets Cleo on the rooftop and tells her he played the elevator game and entered the red spirit world to look for his sister Vicky, but the ghost chased him and he barely escaped. He feels like the ghost is after all of them and won't leave them alone. Cleo cuts him off, saying she doesn't believe him and that the elevator game isn't real. Ryan shows her Easy's camera that he found in the elevator. When she watches the video, she realizes Easy and Kevin are dead and decides to go to the police, but Ryan stops her, saying the police won't help. After all, they never found his sister and claimed she just ran away. Cleo says she wants to check on her friends. They enter the studio and find a circle made of salt on the floor. Matt jumps out from behind them. She bumps into him and asks why he made the circle. He says he read online that ghosts hate salt, so he made the circle to stay inside and protect himself from the terrifying female ghost. After he tells her what happened, he reveals he discovered something important. They broke the rules of the game when that man entered the elevator with them while they were playing. So now, the terrifying female ghost is after them and won't leave them alone until she punishes them. Cleo says she read the ghost story online and tells him that 30 years ago, a group of girls locked their friend, named Ai, in the elevator, left her there, and she stayed trapped for a long time until she went crazy and died. Her spirit was transported to the red spirit world because she wanted to take revenge on her friends. When she turned into a ghost, she created the elevator game, and anyone who breaks the rules of the game or doesn't finish it, she kills them and makes their bodies disappear completely. After Cleo finishes telling the story, she says she doesn't believe it at all and isn't convinced that the terrifying female ghost even exists. So, they decide to play the elevator game again, but this time they have to finish it all the way, go into the red spirit world and come back out. That way, the ghost won't haunt them anymore because they'll have completed the game. Suddenly, the three of them hear a strange singing voice and see the ghost appear in front of them, walking on the ground. They get scared and run into the salt circle. Matt thinks the ghost can't touch them as long as they're inside the circle, but that turns out not to be true. The ghost attacks and kills him. Ryan and Cleo run away until they reach the building with the elevator to finish the game. But the security guard stops them from entering the elevator and threatens to call the police if they don't leave immediately. So Cleo leaves him and quickly gets into the elevator with Ryan. They start playing the game and she apologizes to Ryan for not believing him at first and tries to reassure him, telling him they'll finish the game and break the curse. Ryan interrupts her and warns her not to open her eyes at all when they reach the 5th floor, even if she hears scary noises. When they reach the 5th floor, they both close their eyes and really do hear the ghost's voice, but they try not to open their eyes. As soon as the door closes, they open their eyes and both press the button for the 1st floor. The elevator starts moving up instead, going to the 10th floor until they arrive at the red spirit world. There, Ryan sees the figure of a woman and thinks it's his sister Vicky and wants to go to her, but Cleo stops him and tells him his sister is dead and that it's a trick the ghost is using to kill him. Ryan believes her, and they get into the elevator to return to their world. Cleo presses the button for the 1st floor, and the elevator starts going down, but suddenly it stops at the 5th floor. Cleo tells him the ghost hasn't given up and won't leave them alone. They close their eyes again, the door closes, and suddenly the ghost speaks and asks where they're going. Cleo opens her eyes and the ghost kills her. Ryan opens his eyes too, but the ghost doesn't kill him. Instead, it leaves him trapped in the red spirit world. 3 years later, a famous blogger enters the elevator and talks to her followers while streaming live, telling them she's in the elevator where Cleo and her friends disappeared, and that she's going to play the elevator game to see if it's real or not. The movie ends. If you liked the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next recap. Bye.